Okay, hello, all. Welcome to I Love Ruby. So today we are going to look about classes and objects in Ruby. So where is it? I hope ASCII doc has some kind of way to search and all those stuff. Classes and objects, yeah. No, no, no. Or we are going to look at variable scopes. I'm really sorry. We are going to look at variable scopes because last time I think we looked about functions and all those stuff. So today we are going to look about variable scopes. Okay, so what is variable scope? Okay, so let me just execute this program and let me just show you. And before that, let me just check whether my screen is recording properly. Yeah, it's recording properly. Right. So yeah, so we just have this thing called variable scope. Uh, okay, fine. That was another message which I typed to my friend, which popped up here. Right. Okay, fine. Right. Okay, did I name this program as variable underscore scope underscore dot rv? No, that should be named as variables underscore scope dot rv. Oh god, lot of things that needs to be changed in my book. Okay, variable scope dot rv. Okay, I was excited. Okay, I can talk about classes, but yeah, we need to talk about scopes before classes. Okay, so possibly it's because class also encapsulates some kind of scoping. Okay, so that's the thing, right? Okay, let me just execute this program. So where is my terminal? My terminal is here. So the program is here. Okay, so let me put this into right half. Let me put my terminal into left half. Right, okay. So, right. So let me just execute it. Okay, so Ruby variable scope.rb and it gives an error. So what happens is over here we are just having a variable called x is equal to 5, and in this function print x we are what is it printing at x. Okay, so in Ruby it is put s. Okay, so put s x. Okay, so we so whenever this function has been called, one would think that okay, like it should print this 5 out, but the thing is the scope of this is different and the scope over here is different. Okay, so whenever you come into functions, all the variables that's been defined outside the function gets forgotten. Okay, so if at all you want x to be there, you can put something like okay, x is equal to 3 or something like that, and then yeah, you can just run this function. Okay, so now it will still print 3 because this x is different, this x is different. Okay, so that's the thing, right? So if you want, yeah, like let me show you another thing. Like okay, I'll just do something like put x dot object id. Object id, you can think of something like okay, it tells where the variable is being stored, and similarly I'll just put this x dot object id. Okay, so the first object ID that gets printed will be of x inside this function, and this object ID will be of this x over here. So in line 3. Okay, so that's the thing. So let me just do it. Okay, so oh well, I didn't save it. Yeah, fine. So that's the thing. So if you look, okay, yeah, x is equal to 3 is being printed, but and then that corresponds to this statement. But this thing is stored in, you can think of something like a location 7. Okay, so it's been stored in 7, and this x is being stored in location 11. Okay, so that's the thing. So if you look, what to say, like these are two different variables stored in two different locations, even though they share the same name. Okay, so think of like okay, somebody two people having the same name, but two people can't be the same, right? Like even though they are twins or something like that, right? So that's the thing, right? So that is variable scope, right? So yeah, that's variable scope. So let me oh, in fact, like I'm just doing the very same program. Okay, so let me do another program called variable scope underscore one. All right. So yeah, I think so. We kind of discuss about this. Okay. So okay. So right. So let me save it. So let me execute it. Scope underscore one dot rb. So you get 3 and 5. So first what happens is, okay, it calls this function print x. So over here x is equal to 3. So it should be like this, okay. So that's the thing. And then you just say put x. So 3 gets printed, okay. So and then now you once again say put as x, okay. So and so over here x is equal to 5. Actually this x3 doesn't have any validity outside the function. In fact, after this function gets finished, you can think like, okay, this is being cleaned up or garbage collected and all those things. Okay, if you want to know about garbage collecting, you can look into Wikipedia. So like there is a thing called garbage collecting, garbage, GRBAG, collecting, right? So this, oh god, programming. Garbage collecting is not only very essential in cities or something like that. Why this isn't showing any articles from Wikipedia? Okay. Let me just put it in Wikipedia, right? So yeah, garbage collection programming. Right, yeah. So actually this is a method where, okay, like this is to kind of save memory. Like, okay, if you call this print x, okay, the print x gets over here, like, and then so all this, if you have declared some variable in it, it occupies some memory, right? So in computer, memory is being considered precious, okay, and this needs to be cleared off. So once this thing has been over, this needs to be cleared off so that like there is enough space for others to run. Okay, of course in small programs it might look very less or something like that, but in larger programs, yeah, you need to do it quite often so that the memory gets freed. Okay, so that's the thing over here. So uh, so what I was saying. So yeah, this scope just gets ends over here. So it's x is equal to 3 just ends over here, right? So if you just call print x, it just prints, it just x becomes 3 and it just prints and that's it. It just ends. Okay, that's it. And then this one prints this one because this scope is outside the function and this is also outside the function. Okay, so that's how it is. And yeah, this is called, okay, variable scoping, right? So this one variable scope ends inside the function itself. Another variable scope is outside the function only. Okay, so it doesn't come inside the function, right? So that's the thing. Yeah, yeah. I have another program. Okay, it's a very good program, right? So okay, so let us put it in a new file, execute it. First, save it. Now let's execute it. Okay, so Ruby variable scope underscore 2, right? Yeah, it throws an error because so here, okay, look, you have this thing called print variable. Okay, so over here y gets declared 3 and then you just print y, so you just get 3 over here. So that's the thing. But then this variable y scope gets ended right over here, like right in line 6 it gets ended. Okay, so this has been called, okay, these 3 lines get these lines gets executed and that's it. Its scope doesn't extend beyond this function. So if you say put as y, there is no y defined outside the function, like in the global scope or that is in the main scope of the program. So I think the scope of a Ruby program is called as main or something like that. So in main scope, it's not been defined, right? So like over here, if you say put as y, Ruby just says, look, there is no y. Okay, so over here, if you say put as y, Ruby, okay, over here there is y. Okay, so Ruby knows, okay, there is y and it just prints, okay, because it is inside the scope of the function. Once the function ends, that scope gets over. So Over here, there is no y, so it doesn't print. So it throws an error, right? So this is some kind of this one, but over here, x has global scope. But over here, like what to say, that's the thing. X has global scope, but over here, like Y has only local scope. Actually, I shouldn't be saying global scope. Okay, it has scope in for the entire what to say file except for the functions over here, right? So that's the thing, right? That's the thing, right? So okay, right. So let's look at another program, right? So yes, okay. This is another very very good program. Okay, I'm happy that okay I just wrote stuff like these. Okay, now since I'm kind of experienced in Ruby, I can't even think about writing these kind of programs. Okay, so uh, that is one irony of learning stuff. Okay, you just kind of lose the knack of teaching a newbie. Okay, so teaching newbie requires only, I feel like only a newbie can teach newbie well because he only knows all those pains and all those stuff. Okay, let me remove this comment over here, right? Okay, so that's the thing. So let me just run it. Uh, Variable scope 3, right? Okay. If I had written my book now, whether I would have thought about a program like this, I don't know. Like that's the thing. But this program is beautiful according to me. Look, I just put as A and it just throws an error because A is being defined after this put as. So while the program Ruby executes linearly from top to down. Okay. So when it encounters put as A, there is no A defined. Okay. A is only being defined after line 3 in line 4. So before that asking to print value of A is nonsense. Okay, so Ruby says it's an error and it just throws an error. Okay, so even though this program is looks might look dumb to what to say like experienced people or something like that, for a newbie I think it's a very very good program, right? So actually yeah, these are all variable scopes and there's another thing called global variable, right? So you shouldn't use global variables. Okay, but yeah, let me just execute this program and I'll just tell you why. Okay, so okay, right. So I need to save this. Whenever I just code Ruby, I just start to smile. But whenever I just code Ruby under bad boss or a bad client, the smile goes away, right? Okay. I just feel like I hope like I can just make my living just by teaching and all those stuff. Okay, so without being slave to money. But yeah, okay. Life is life, right? So right, that's the thing. Okay, so I have another program called global variables. Okay, so that's the thing. Let me execute it. Ruby, right. Okay, and it prints 3 3. Okay, so you might be surprised what's happening over here. Look, I actually, if you just put ordinary X over here, it should print 3, and then over here it should print 5, right? I think we saw it somewhere over here, right? Yeah. So yeah, but over here this doesn't happen. So in global variable it doesn't happen. Why? Because if you put dollar and whatever it is, that thing is called global variable. So X over here, that is the dollar X is global variable. So the scope is available everywhere, inside the function, outside the function, and all those stuff. So in print X, if you just call, the first thing what happens is X becomes 3. So this and this location is the same. Both point to the same location, and you're storing 3 in that location. Now if you print it, X gets printed as 3. And now once again, if you just print it, because this location and this location is same, it got changed, and yeah, it once again prints 3. If you want, you can just print object ID, right? You can just print, okay, dollar $x dot object underscore ID. Okay, so you can just put it, you'll just get the same stuff. 3 location number and then 3 once again the same location number, right? Yes, it's been stored in location 7 and once again it's been stored in location 7. So if you look at the output over here, right? So that's how it is. Global variables. It gets stored in just one location. That's the thing. So one name, one global variable, one location, right? So that's the thing, right? And yeah. And here is another program. So here I'm just changing the value of global variable outside the function and I'm just printing it. Gets changed. Okay, so that's the thing, right? So let me just put another program, right? Okay, so that's the thing. So okay, global variable one will be global variable underscore one dot rb. Yeah. So what we are just doing is first x will be pi. So this is all. If you put dollar and a variable name, okay, it is totally global. So first what I'm just doing is we call print x. Okay, x is 5 over here, so it just prints 5. Now I'm just putting dollar x is equal to 7 and print x. So x will be 7 and dollar x is equal to 3 and then print x. So once again it comes over here, so x will be 3. So that's how it is. So no matter variable change global variable, it changes. This is why you shouldn't use global variable because it will get changed somewhere. Someone might change it somewhere, and that will alter the program's course, and it will be very very difficult to debug. Okay, so in theory, global variable should never ever be used. Okay, so that's you must remember that you must never ever use global variable. The reason why I'm saying is it's there in Ruby, and I even doubt that Ruby book should be advocating things about global variable, right? So I'm not sure, but that's how it is, right? So hmm, okay, okay, okay. This is a nice function, right? So after this, it gets over. This video gets over. So this is a very nice. Sorry, this is a very nice program, right? That shows the difference between global and local variables. So I named it as global variable underscore one. Okay, global and local variables. That's how I should name. Okay. Okay, right. Okay. There's so many changes I need to make it in my book. Okay, fine, 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 right. Okay, so let me just execute it. Global and local variables. Okay, so that's the thing. And okay, so it first says okay, in print x. Okay, so it's over here, right? And what it does is okay over here like okay dollar x is 5 and x is 5. Okay, so that's the thing, and it prints like okay dollar x is equal to 3 and x is equal to 3. So because this okay over here dollar x becomes 3 and x is equal to 3. Okay, so that's the thing, and so it just prints okay, so dollar x is equal to 3. That's what gets printed over here, and over here it is this local x, the local x, that is this one gets printed over here, right? And now what we are just doing is now we are outside this print x. Okay, so now we are just outside this print x. Now once again we are printing this dollar x, okay, over here. So this one is still 3 because global variables can be changed from anywhere. So since you're calling this print x over here, it gets changed over 3, changed to 3. But over here, this is a local variable where it has been scoped outside the function. Okay, so over here x is equal to 5, so x is equal to 5 gets printed. So this is about variable scoping. So local variables only maintain the scope where they are defined. So outside the function means outside the function. If it's inside the function means inside the function. So that's where they maintain. Global variables have scopes everywhere, but it's very very wrong to use global variables because somebody can change a global variable somewhere else and it might affect your program adversely. And to debug it, you need to spend your lifetime sometimes. Okay, so that's how it is. I hope yeah you enjoyed watching this video. So possibly in next video we'll look about classes and objects. So it is over here like classes and objects are essential thing. I think after this the core Ruby gets over, and then Yeah, then I'll be talking about other things like and all those things, right? So I think at least core object oriented programming gets over, right? If you look into classes and objects. Okay. Anyway, thanks for watching. Do subscribe if you like to. So happy life. Bye.